I'm sure some of you have already seen this article. Of course, white supremacy has been in the media since Donald Trump had taken office. Not that Donald Trump had displayed any type of racism or white supremacy, but the media recognized that the so-called Black Americans are so sensitive when it comes to racism and white supremacy, although you have so many Black Americans that are living quite well. Pretty good jobs, even businesses, got like 3 and 4 cell phones in their pocket, expensive cell phones at that. They're always getting on the media, flashing money, flashing their jewelry and their cars. So any other person would question like, well, what's the problem? If you appear to be doing well, what's the problem? Well, you have some blacks that say, well, we still have poor people among us. Well, even Yeshua in the Bible said the poor you're going to always have with you. You're going to always have the poor with you, regardless of what color, what race, regardless of what nationality you are. But before I get into this article, I want to invite you to my new YouTube channel. I'm going to put the link on the bottom along with this article because I'm not going to read the whole article, but I'm going to put the link to this article on the bottom along with my new YouTube channel, which is protectionknives.com, something like that. Okay, but I'm going to put the link on the bottom. Go there and subscribe, especially for the women out there that's looking for a way to protect yourself other than having an illegal firearm. Okay, so check out some of the stuff on this site. If it interests you, then feel free to purchase that, So anyway, doctor at New York City hospital suspended, not fired, but suspended for alleged white supremacy views and affiliations. Now, to look at this guy, he don't look like a white supremacist. And you may ask, like, what does a white supremacist look like? I've been around for 57 years, going on 58 years. I'll be 58 in December 28th. But looking at his face, man, it's like he don't look like a white supremacist. And I know white supremacists when I see them, Now, I'm not one that would always pull the race card and always say white supremacists and white racism and this and that and the other. And I'm going to be doing a video on, what was the title of that video? I had a video, I wrote it down, but the title of my next video is going to be race card. What was that I wrote? Race card declined. Race card declined. And I'm going to, that's interesting. I would like for you guys to go and check that video out when I decide to make it. But race card declined. But anyway, but yeah, so he's been suspended for alleged white supremacy views and affiliations. But like I said, he don't look like a white racist, man. And he's Jewish. He's allegedly Jewish. So now the same hate that was directed toward them, with the white supremacists, he's now doing the same thing that Hitler did, But anyway, I'm not going to read the whole article. I'm going to let you guys check it out for yourself. I'm just going to read a portion of it. It says a radiologist at a hospital in New York City is on suspension amid allegations that he is a white supremacist. The claims first surfaced in a now deleted post on Medium shared by anti-fascists in New York. Okay. The article accused Dr. Dave Beckover, 27, of being friends with white supremacist author on social media, writing racist and xenophobic comments on the far right website Counter Currents, and running a Facebook page for a eugenics conference attendance by neo-Nazis. Now, eugenics. Now, I mentioned in videos of the past, and there's a video on my Fearless 2005 channel titled Race War. You asked for it, something to that effect. And I was talking about race wars, man, and how people have the wrong impression of what a race war is, man. And right now, what a lot of blacks are dealing with is what we call guerrilla warfare. Because you don't see, like in the Warriors, the movies, The Warriors, where all the gangs in New York City, they came out with their knives and chains, guns, brass knuckles, and they went at it, man. They were just fighting to see who the best gang was, right? A race war is not like that, man. It's on a completely different level now. It's on a level where when you go to the hospital with bullet wounds that another black person put in you, and you go in there on a stretcher and you end up dying, or a loved one died, well, blacks need to start questioning who was that doctor that was supposed to attempt to save your life. See, and a lot of y'all reject God, man. A lot of y'all like to reject the Most High. You reject the Bible. But then when you're on that deathbed, man, the first person you try to call out to, even if you try to call out secretly to God, he don't hear you now, man, because you denied him before man. So he's going to deny you. Okay, so a lot of y'all laying out on that stretcher, man, with gunshot wounds in you, and you're begging this man to save your life, and the very doctor that's working on you is a white supremacist. The same ones that you guys love to get on the internet and talk about. And I'm sure he knows ways of killing you on that table, but at the same time, make it look like he's trying to save you. You understand? So, y'all don't know what you're asking for. And this dude is a radiologist, man, and he's a white supremacist, right? This dude expressed himself as a white supremacist on social networking. I remember I went to the VA, and this is recent, and I went for a problem with my foot, and the doctor came in. There was an older gentleman, but I was like, giving him the history, because I don't think a lot of doctors, man, know about severe cold weather injury, or the history of severe cold weather injury. And so he looked like he didn't even want to be there. He saw me. He looked like he didn't want to be there in that room. And he barely touched my foot, because usually they put them gloves on and they examine. He didn't do none of that stuff, man. He just, going to tell me what it is. And I'm like, okay, well, that's new to me and long story short, he prescribed some medication. And the thing about it is, you don't know what these doctors are prescribing to you. So even when they prescribe medication to you, it's good for you to get on Google and go to a medical website and check out what that is and what the side effects are. All right. So, so you have doctors, man, and he came in there and I kind of detected that he really didn't want to deal with me. Right. That's how I felt with this doctor. I didn't feel at ease. And he was in there for no more than a couple of minutes. And he's prescribing medication to me. So, when you're dealing with a race war, man, and you guys getting on social media and on the news, and all you hear now in the media is white supremacists and the white man feeling vulnerable, man, and like he's under attack, right? And this is not saying that white supremacy don't exist. I'm just saying that when you guys call for a race war, and when you get on there and you start spewing hatred, man, and that hatred start coming back to you, my question then is why are you so sensitive now? You weren't being sensitive when you were, calling out white supremacists, and everything was a racist, and now you're attacking blacks racially, right? So you guys have to realize when you call for a race war, it comes in many shapes, and this is not only directed at black people. This is also white people, because now you have blacks that's in position of authority. You have black cops, you have black doctors, you have black nurses, especially if you're in a nursing home or you have family members in the nursing home. And I know quite a few black women in nursing homes that abused some white racist elderly people in the nursing home, right? And so these white racists, old white racists in the nursing home, man, they be spitting at these black women and calling them niggers and calling them and just doing, and the black women in there will get even. They would pinch them secretly. They would just do crazy things to these elderly people, man, up there, and these elderly people, now their life is in the hand of this black woman or this black man that you like talked about all your life. And now you on your deathbed and you still carrying that racial hate in your heart. So it works on both sides, because you got black people that's in position now, right? So when y'all talk about white supremacy and white races and race wars and stuff, you really don't know what you're asking for, man, because right now it's guerrilla warfare and it's coming at every angles that you don't even expect, especially when you go to court, man, for a traffic ticket, or you go there for some weed. Next thing you know, you're doing 6 years and you're trying to figure out, how did I get 6 years for a traffic infraction? Well, you're dealing with a white racist judge, and you dealt with a white racist cop, and you hired a white racist attorney that kept their white racism hidden, just like this radiologist did. And he don't even look like a white racist, man. He don't look like it. But out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks, right? So I'm just going to read a little of what he allegedly said. I'm going to put the whole article on the bottom. You guys can read it for yourself. Let me find that one little thing. And then I'm going to read. Oh, hold on a second. Let me find that. Because that apology is something else. Because my thing is like, white racists, why do y'all like say crazy things? And then when you get caught in your mess, you now want to apologize and talk about you don't know what happened to you, right? So it says among the comments attributed to Beckhofer was, I do despise blacks like Colin Kaepernick. Now, he's not saying all blacks. He said, I do despise blacks like Colin Kaepernick for milking the white cow, despite the fact that his race, and all others are already in such objective debt to whites. And then it says, absolutely. And then it says, another read, the West has no use for Muslims, and they'll be just fine when they go home. And then it says, he allegedly called for armed militia on the southern border with orders to shoot illegals. Again, this man is a radiologist, right? He's a doctor, all right? So this is the kind of mindset that a lot of whites silently have, while blacks are like lashing out racially and saying white supremacists and white racism and all this. A lot of whites are sitting silent. They're not just coming under ghost accounts, saying things at you. These are people that's working in positions that have an effect on your life or death. All right. Now, in his apology, he says the same man that made these comments says, I'm ashamed of the hurtful, unjustifiable words that I posted online that showed callous disregard toward certain minority groups. I hate that term minority, because we're not the minority. And I don't know why blacks accept themselves or even call themselves or refer to themselves as minorities. And I'm deeply sorry for these transgressions. Oh, forgive me, for I have transgressed against you. In other words, the posts do not reflect, check this lie out, the posts do not reflect how I was raised and how I actually treat others. I will continue to struggle to understand what brought me to write them. In short, it started with scared curiosity. He's blaming now, posting the blame somewhere else, about what was being said on these forums. The forums made me do it, about Jews. But after spending some time in this toxic corner of the internet, I eventually came numb to the ugliness of that hateful echo chamber and began practicing in the dialogue. I am filled with remorse and take full responsibility for my actions, which I long be an embarrassment to my family, friends, colleagues, and community. Now, a lot of blacks that work in the hospital settings, and you might have taken pictures of this dude and posted them on your Facebook. You know how people like to take, pictures with your employees, and y'all all under the camera smiling and whatnot like your friends, and you may have somebody like him that's saying these kind of things about you, right? Today, I'm at the beginning of a process to make amends for my behavior, and I am committed to working on my personal flaws. I am actively seeking long-term professional help to deal with these issues, which must be confronted honestly and completely. I denounce all forms of bigotry and violence directed at any ethnic, racial, or religious group, as well as those who are targeted for their sexual orientation. While I have much soul searching and work to do on myself, I intend to take actions for the rest of my life that promote the dignity of all humanity. I'm sorry. Had to get that out. But anyway, I'm going to post a link on the bottom. You guys can check this out for yourself. But this is today's reality, man. This is what a lot of y'all asked for. You created this environment, man. So now even when you go to the doctor, when you take your kids to the doctor, you don't know who you're dealing with. Black or white, you just don't know who you're dealing with. But this is what you call for. You wanted this. All right. So I'm going to put the link on the bottom. You guys check it out for yourself. Donate to the page. Go check out the new YouTube channel I have. I'm going to put the link also on the bottom. As a matter of fact, I'm going to put that link first, and then I'm going to put the link to this article next. So feedback, tell me what you think. Till next time. I'm fearless.